Hello and welcome everybody. This is your Mighty Rabid Snail. I wanted to take this time to give a bit of an introduction to the application called Total Battle, put out by Score Warrior, which is based in Cyprus. I know when I started playing this, I really didn't know what I was doing. It was a little bit confusing as to where things were, what things did, what I needed to focus on. There were things that are hidden within the window and in menus and submenus that aren't immediately obvious. It's easy to miss, and there's some assumptions that aren't really understood very well. So I wanted to make this video to let everybody know this is kind of an introduction. This is what to look for, this is what to do, this is how to proceed. So I will start up a new account on a junk email and start walking you through that first introductory phase, which is got some unique settings to it that you don't find later on in the game because they're trying to get you in, get you hooked, etc. And you need to understand how to maximize your opportunity during that time frame. So let's get started. So I'll speed up the intro. There's nothing really useful there. It's just a bit of nice graphics to start you out, but doesn't really pertain to the game very much. You can also skip that mini-game intro piece because it has no pertinence to the game either. The intro walks you through a variety of things you need to do in terms of building initial structures. They give you a bit of resources to start with, obviously. They give you these free upgrades so you don't have to wait for the time frame to go by, although they're pretty fast in this particular part of the game, obviously. 3-4 seconds. Much later in the game, they get substantially longer. Then you want to train resources, capabilities, so they're starting you out with troops. In this case, they want you to start with spearmen. Okay, they give you enough points, just enough points. These are called valor points. You can see this is your total up here. This is what it costs. Normally it'd take you 4 minutes to research this, but of course the free option lets you do it instantly. And you don't have enough points to train anything else, so exit out. Close the window and go to your army training window. So right now we have not researched archers, we haven't researched riders, we can't train them, but we can train spearmen because we have some. Costs us 6,000 silver and they will consume 100 food. It would normally take 5 minutes to train 20 of them. Currently we have 40, so we'll train 20 more. Free, so we don't have to wait 5 minutes. Now it wants to take us to the world view. Right now we're just looking at our city, capital, main town. This is where most of your action takes place as far as structures and research and training. And then there's the world view, which is the rest of the game. Now, as it says, all monsters have unique characteristics. This is my city. I have a protective bubble around me, and I am in a clan that's a 3-letter abbreviation, IRL. It automatically assigns you to a computer-generated clan when you start. You'll want to get out of that fairly soon and get into a player-generated or controlled clan because it's so much better in the long run, and there's a variety of reasons for that. So we look at this mob that they want us to go after. It's a level 1 common barbarian squad. The 1 in the brown means it's common. If you see the silver or gray background ones, these are rare. So 200 experience and 400 valor points as well earned for killing this mob. I attack. There's one tier 3 monster here. If I click on it, it's not going to do it because I'm in the tutorial. Fine. So I've been invited to this clan. I've actually being placed in it. Everybody starts this way. Computer generated clan, has no clan leader, can't access some of the benefits and resources of being in a clan, but it'll get you started. And you can stay here for a little while, but I would definitely recommend getting into a player controlled clan sooner rather than later. There's substantially more benefits to it for sure. So we'll go ahead and join the clan. This is just basic information about the clan. Cover that later. Okay, so now I'm to a point where I basically completed the tutorial, which I actually found only marginally useful myself, but that's me. So there's a lot of things going on this window, and we'll get to those in a bit, but first I want to explain kind of the game's objective and mechanics, which has to do with you're basically in a war game. This is primarily focused on fighting monsters, fighting other players, eventually fighting other kingdoms full of players. The way the game is set up is it has a variety of kingdoms. At this point in time, there's 105, I believe. Each kingdom has hundreds or thousands of players in them. I don't know the exact numerical value, but there are a substantial number of people in those clans and in those kingdoms, and eventually you end up with wars between kingdoms. So to start out, your kingdom is locked. Other people can't transfer here from other kingdoms until this kingdom is unlocked. So for the time being, it's a protected kingdom, if you will. You're still susceptible to attacks from people within the kingdom, but you're not going to be a level 1 player facing off against level 700 players from other kingdoms because they're not allowed in here. So we'll go over the interface now. Some of the key things to do. Initially, it's going to give you some of these pointers. We're not in the tutorial, but it's showing you, oh, this is something you need to do. This is an achievement that you can achieve by defeating level 1 common monster squad. We already did that. That was the first monster that we attacked, and it says you have 1 achievement. So you can get rewards for these achievements. There's a trade-off to be involved with this. So defeating a level 1 mob gives us these rewards. I'm going to get 25 spearmen. I'm going to get 100 experience, 500 silver. This is a speed boost, which allows us to run from where we are to where we're going half as fast. And this is an increase in might. This number here is your might, which is a measure of your fighting ability against another player who's going to have different troops, different skills, they've researched things, etc. But it gives you kind of a sense of somebody is much stronger than you, much weaker than you, comparable to you if you were to face off against them. So there's still a little bit of a storyline going on here, but it's really pretty thin. So now it wants me to attack this common undead squad, which is what my goal is. You know, a level 1 common monster squad. So that's what this is. Common monster squad. It gives you a little bit of information here. You can scroll through and read it. What it's telling you basically is you want to compare your fighting ability against the monster's defensive capabilities. So again, this is what I'm facing. It's got these rewards. If I attack it, it gives me a little bit more detail so that I can choose what I want to send against it. So if I click on that mob, it tells me it has a strength of 28 and a health of 84 for each mob in the group. The leadership and initiative has to do with who's attacking first, primarily. And this has strength against mounted units. So their strength is 28, but it's going to add 2.8 to that, and of course round up, for every mob whenever they attack a mounted unit. So you want to take that into account when you're attacking these things, that you don't want to attack it with something that it's strong against, because obviously that's not going to work very well. In our case, these are all melee units, and we can see that by clicking on the eye. This gives you some information about the page you just opened. It doesn't always appear, just early on it does this. So I have a melee unit. This is its strength and this is its health per unit. These are stats about it, how much food it consumes, its initiative, how much it can carry, how much it costs me in gold after I attack a mob and have to revive it, how much it costs if they're defending something and somebody attacks him and kills some of them. You can revive with silver. These are its bonuses. It gets a 39% strength boost against mounted units, and against beasts it has 80%. So those are things you want to take into account when you're considering who to attack with and who to defend with, although a lot of times you don't have a lot of control on the defense side. And then these are some additional bonuses. Because we're in this trial period early on, you get additional boosts in order to resurrect these or revive these mobs. Sorry, these troops. It's basically 1/10 of normal cost. So there's two ways to add these troops. You can click and slide to however many you want, or you can just type the number in. So if I wanted 35 to go in there, that's fine. Remember, you're attacking 93 of these, so you want to be able to have enough troops with enough strength to take them out. Overwhelming force, of course, is always good, so I'm going to take all of these, and I'm going to take all of these. So the difference between these and these are troops you can train. You can train them in your town if you've researched them. These are mercenaries that have been hired. In this case, the game starts you with 10 of these melee spearmen, but you can't build them. You can only buy them or gain them as a reward. So these are another melee. These are much stronger than ours because these are a tier 5 mob or a tier 5 mercenary as opposed to your tier 1 spearmen. So they're much tougher, have much bigger bonuses, but they're also temporary. They will last for 7 days. If they get killed in fights, you can revive them until the end of the 7 days, but at the end of 7 days, whatever is left disappears. So keep that in mind. If you do have mercenaries, try and utilize them to the best of your ability, but don't leave them hanging around if they're almost out of time. Use them up. So, I want to maximize my attack. The other way you can do it, I guess, is a third way, is you can just click select all. It will take as many as you can hold. Now, mercenaries use this symbol. Army units you train use this symbol. And I say that because those symbols are down here. So, you have an ability based on your leadership determines how many troops you can carry. So right now I can take 60 out of 100 troops. 100 is my max. This means I have 10 out of 450 points worth of troops that are mercenaries, and this is dominance. This is if you have monsters, which you won't get for a while yet because you have to do a bunch of research in order to acquire them, and you train them just like you do your troops, but they also take different resources. So the difficulty is low, means pretty high chance of success. I expect to lose somewhere between 1 and 5% of my troops, and normal travel time, it's going to take me 4 minutes 3 seconds to get from my city to this mob, and I can start that march. Now, I can speed it up by clicking here and using one of these 50% speed ups. So it'll take whatever time I have left here and divide it by 2. So 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Now it's 1 minute and 52 seconds. You can speed up to 5 times. So each time it's half of what's left. So if I click it again, it'll be half of 1 minute and 45 seconds. So now it's 50 seconds. And that applies both to the trip there and to the trip back. So you can see this blue line represents where I'm going from and where I'm going to. So I start here and I'm running all the way up here. So the further away you go, the longer time it takes. So I attacked him, I won. You can see the mob disappeared, so you know I won. If you lose, then the mob will still be there, and it will pop up a screen here showing your hero or captain is dead. I'll explain the difference here in a minute. So, being successful, I killed that mob, my captain leveled up. So, she gains 25 leadership, 50 authority, and 25 dominance, and 20 might. So, this helps her take more home-built troops. This helps her take more mercenaries. This helps her take more monsters. And all the guardsmen she takes with her, which is swordsmen, archers, spearmen, and mounted units. I said that twice. Anyway, you have 3 basic units, and later on a 4th one for flying units. They all get a 1% bonus to strength and health, whatever she's taking with her. And of course, it wants you to subscribe to the newsletter, and it'll give you some rewards if you do so. I haven't found it to be too intrusive. I've only received a few emails over the course of several months, so I don't consider it too big of an issue or too onerous to go ahead and subscribe. And it gives you some rewards. It gives you some gold, gives you some silver. These are speed ups for various actions and some more march speed boosts. These are for speeding up construction, research, that sort of thing. So I'll go ahead and subscribe. And it'll give me those bonuses will show up down here in a pop-up and then disappear. So next it wants me to come down here saying, okay, you have 2 items here now. So I can claim the rewards. So going back to what I said earlier, there's benefits and negatives to this. If you claim this, it's going to increase your might. Claiming this doesn't actually make you any stronger. It doesn't actually make you able to take on higher level mobs or higher level characters. So I have always viewed this as being an artificial inflation to my might stat, which makes higher level people attack me because they think that I'm tougher than I am and have more rewards than I do. So I've always tended not to claim these. In my primary account on the other server I play on, I have well over 1,000 of these that I've never claimed. Having said that, early on in the game, I would say it's worth it because these rewards are tough to get by any other way to start out, and they're very helpful to help you grow faster, get tougher, research more, have more troops, etc. So for a little while early on, probably a good idea to claim these, but maybe after a while, stop doing it. But it's a personal call, whatever makes the most sense to you and that is realistic for you to deal with. But we'll go ahead and claim these first few, and you'll see. And again, the rewards I get will show up down here. Okay, so those are beneficial. Now, there's a huge long list of things here that it wants me to do, and they're always here. You'll get credit for them whenever you actually accomplish these things. You really don't need to worry about trying to focus on them because it's all going to be part of playing the game anyway. It's going to happen regardless. So I'm not sure if that's the last thing that it's going to try and walk you through. Maybe. Let's go through the window here. So there's a lot of things going on here. Some of them are there for a short period of time and then disappear. Some of them are there all the time. So across the top, it's going to list your resources: your lumber, your iron, your stone, the food that you have, the silver you have, the gold you have. And then you go to page 2, and then you've got, this is how many valor points you have. This is what you use to research some research topics. And then you've got conquest points. These are other research topics that takes this specific point. Now, valor points come from fighting monsters in the world. Conquest points come from fighting players in the world, and a few epic monsters that occur on a regular basis, which I'll get to later. These are architects' blueprints. Early on, you don't need them. Later, they become more and more important. You will need them in order to do upgrades in your town, and also to be able to build structures in the world to get resources sometimes, and I will get to that as well. Gold ingots confuse the crap out of everybody. They have no purpose except for paying taxes to the king of your kingdom. You can't use them for anything else. You can't trade them with anybody. You can't sell them. You cannot do anything except pay taxes. You want to get those taxes paid, because if you don't, if you hang on to these ingots, the king, whoever it happens to be, might send his tax collector after you, and they will attack your town and kill your troops and take the gold ingots you have. So why set yourself up for that? Just make sure you pay them. They need to be paid on a daily basis, and there are some rewards for doing that, both when you turn it in and also if the king gets enough gold ingots, he can use them to apply bonuses that apply to everybody in the kingdom. So say you get increased food production for a week or a day, or you can move faster, you get increased silver, etc., etc. These are all things that they can do as the king with those gold ingots you turn in, but you have to turn them in. They've got to have them in their treasury in order to do anything with them. The next one is dragon coins. So The dragon coins are used to create or to train monsters, which, as I said, you don't get till later. They're hard to acquire. They usually come from doing tournament events and rewards for various prizes, but they are difficult. You can also buy them with cash. That's what this game is all about. You can play it without spending money. It's very slow doing it that way. It takes a lot longer. And it's a bit frustrating because it's hard to keep up with people that are forking over a lot of money to buy these upgrades, to pay to win, if you will. It's a personal decision. I've done both. It can be frustrating, for sure. And then this one is Master Coins. So these come from higher level crypts and world objects that you go to. I personally have not got any, even in my other account, so I can't speak too much to that, but I do know that these are acquired through various specific actions that you take against various structures in the world. You use them to create weapon and armors for your captains and your hero. And I said I was going to come to that, so let's talk about that real quick. So this is your hero. You have one and only one. This is a generic picture. Whether you pick the man or the woman doesn't matter in the beginning. They have no bonuses. They're just a generic. Purchase other heroes later on. They give you specific bonuses and capabilities. They are fairly powerful, but they take 1,000,000 gold to acquire in-game, or you can spend money to get them sooner. Captains, you can have 3 up at a time, and they all have their own unique abilities. They're not as strong as heroes, but there's also limitations to how these leaders work. The heroes, like this one, can only attack certain mobs. Captains can attack almost all other mobs. They do most of your exploration of structures and that sort of thing. And then there are tournaments that go on regularly that all of them can participate in, both the hero and the captains, or just the hero, or just the captains. It depends on what the tournament is. If you're attacking other players, you're going to take your hero and all 3 captains. If you're attacking epic mobs, it's going to be your hero, or it's going to be your captain, or it's going to be all of them. It just depends on what the tournament item target is and what the limitations of that are, and it'll tell you. Okay, so there's one more tab up here, and so this is Tar, Rare Tar, Epic Tar. Tar is used to explore crypts. There are different types of crypts. This is a standard crypt. It takes Tar. Then you have Epic crypts. They take Epic Tar. Ironically consistent. And then there are Rare crypts, which almost all look the same and are very blue. Let's see if I can find one real quick here. Here we go. So this is a rare crypt. Most of them have this kind of a graphic to them. I don't think I've seen any others. There might be different graphics for higher level ones. They do have quite a range of graphics for various things. Alright, so if I click on this, it'll take me back to my capital. And I guess I should say, I'm playing this in Opera GX. I have played it in a lot of browsers and it works fine in all of them. I've played it in Chrome, I've played it in Microsoft Edge, I've played it in Brave, I've played it in Opera GX. They all work the same and have had no issues with them. They also have a standalone application, at least for PC, that you can use. Right here, you can download it. It's about 750 megabytes. And I've used that as well. That's what my normal account is on. I don't really notice much in the way of performance difference between that and the browser. There are a couple of things, like in the browser, my mouse wheel will not let me zoom in and out. In the application, I can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. That's really about the only difference between them that I've seen. Visually, they're exactly the same. So you can zoom out to see more of the world, minus or 25% is as far out as you can go. You can zoom in to 125, and that's as tight as you can go. So it wants me to destroy a level 2 common monster. I really don't care. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So here's my city. I guess I should describe, though, the bubble you're under is called Shield of Protection, and you start with that. It will stay there until time frame is gone by, which I believe is 1 week. or until you attack another player. Now, if you attack another player, you can't attack somebody who has a shield on, but if you attack another town who does not have a shield, like if I tried to attack him, I would lose my shield. And I believe it gives you a warning saying that this is going to happen before you send your troops, so just pay attention to what you're doing. If somebody is on a resource tile, like this for instance, this is a mine, you can get iron from this mine. This icon shows somebody already is on that mine. If you send your troops while they're there, it also will make you lose your shield. So pay attention to what you're attacking. If you start sending your troops and they're already on the way and somebody else sends their troops, you won't lose your shield if they're attacking you. And I believe if you both send them and they speed up their march and get there before you, you won't lose your shield either, because it's like it knows that you did not actively try to attack another player. But these are things to be aware of and to watch out for. Continuing on, this is rare flickering dust. You use this when you want to create new gems, which really isn't pertinent until later when you actually have gems to create and you are trying to create something specific for a piece of gear that you're wearing. This is sacred potions. Now, it does produce some by hour based on the level of the temple in your town, and you can use these instead of gold to revive your warriors. And that's good, because it generates on its own and doesn't cost anything. And then these are rage potions. 100 max. I really don't worry about raising or increasing this or anything. It's used for exploring arenas with your hero. There are basically two types of arenas that you can go to. One gives you one type of result when you win, one gives you different types. So this is one type of arena. So if I send my hero, that's the only option it gives you. You can win a chest for your clan only if you get this progress to 100%. If you're the one getting the last turn on it and gets it to 100%, then everybody in your clan gets a chest. And this is why being in a clan is helpful. You can get some gold, variable amount, some silver, some wood, some iron, and there's other things you can get as well. And it's random what you get from these items. The chest is the only thing that is a solid value. Every time you send your hero, you'll get some of these other things, including the final time. But the final kill shot, basically, is the only time you can get the clan chest. So I have 21 of 100, and it'll generate over time. It gives me 4 per hour. I'm almost always at 100. I just don't go to arenas that often because they're a long ways away. You can't travel to a lot of them. There's one other arena type, and I'm doing this hard way on purpose. There is an easier way to do this, at least initially. We'll get to that. So that's an epic crypt. That's an epic crypt. Here's the other. So here's the other type of arena. Okay, so this arena gives you the option to gain conquest points. Even though you're not fighting against another player, that is the potential reward. And I guess I didn't highlight it on the other one. The other one gives you valor points. So there's a difference between the two. Early on, this is helpful to go to these because it's really early on the only way you can get conquest points in any easy fashion. So let's go back to my town. Okay, and so that's all of your resources. And again, this is your might. This is my name. Thank you, and I think this is a good transition time. I'll cut off here, and as abrupt as it was, we'll make that the break point, and I'll carry on with the next video. Thank you everyone for your time. I appreciate you watching what I have to say, and hope that it gave you some value. If you feel like that was of value and you'd like to contribute, there is a link to a PayPal donation button if you'd like. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I don't know how many more videos I'll make, but I'll be adding some short ones and some additional comments as people make requests for things that I can give some information on where I can. And I wish you all a good day.